Hey there, beautiful soul. Welcome to Cultivate Your Joyful Life, where we believe true fulfillment blooms from within. I'm Emily Liou, your certified life coach, and I'm on a mission to help you create a life you freaking love. In a world where we constantly juggle priorities from career to parenting, relationships to health, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or not enough. But don't worry, in this corner of the universe, I'm here to share practical tips and inspiration to help you access your inner joy right now. So, grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's cultivate your joyful life together. Here we go. Welcome back to episode 9. I just want to start off by sharing that I've been loving recording these episodes, especially because I'm opening up so much about my personal life. I feel like I want to share updates and just have my own personal, deepest, darkest thoughts come out on here because I almost look at it as a time capsule. You know, I used to journal a lot and I haven't really had the brain capacity to do that after having 2 kids. So to just be able to verbally share what my thoughts are at the time of recording and kind of being unfiltered about it is really liberating, 1. But 2, I can't wait to maybe even listen back to this a year, 2 years, 5 years from now and be like, wow, that's what I was struggling with at the time, or that's what my thought system or my belief system was at the time. And I just always love seeing the growth and the changes because oftentimes what we feel in the moment feels like it's so catastrophic or we're so deep into it that we haven't been able to zoom out and get perspective on it. And that's what I love the most. I love reading some of my journal entries from even 3 years ago. And I was like, wow, I was thinking so small back then. And look what I've achieved. And, those moments I was thinking, this is such a big goal. This is such an insurmountable challenge. And yet I get to review it from the other side. And that's really, really cool. Although now that I'm thinking about it, I probably won't listen back to these. I don't know what it is. I read somewhere that people just hate the sound of their own voice, and that is so true for me. Now, on to today's episode. This is going to be a bit of a vent session to you because there's just something that happened, which I'll share in just a moment, that really triggered me. And it just shines a light on what is wrong with this society. And so the title of this is RIP, Rest in Peace, #girlboss, and how to recover from burnout. So, quick story. You may have heard in the previous episodes that I am in the process of buying a house. Yay! We're in escrow. And this past week, I almost lost sleep for 3 days because on Wednesday, I received an email from the loan officer. The underwriter basically said, I don't know if you're going to qualify for this loan because you're a business owner. And as a business owner, you have to show that your income, your business is growing year over year. And if you have a 20% or more decline in your business, then apparently you have to show your current year's business, your current quarter's profit and loss statement. And that profit and loss statement needs to show that you are back on track or even surpassing. So all that to say is the lender was like, you have to decrease from 2022 to 2023. And now you have to showcase that you're making more. And you need to write a letter of explanation around why this is occurring. And I get it. They want to make sure that if they're loaning you money, you're able to pay it back and you're not seen as a risk, but you are growing. And at the same time, I got really frustrated by this because I, 1, had a baby I had two babies and I just wanted to take some intentional time off and slow down the business versus like constantly thinking I have to scale it or to hustle and to create more and just constantly launch. I really took an intentional break. Two, I was going through this life transition of trying to figure out, what do I really want? And in those moments of getting clarity, it does take some intentional stepping back. Like, you cannot get clarity if you're just distracting yourself with work or you're just numbing yourself by keeping busy and overwhelmed. You have to create the space to be able to get the clarity. But third, I was also in a very intensive coaching certification program that lasted 9 months. And that container was where all my energy was going. I was learning all the deeper modalities around how to help people from a body and a soul level rather than just helping them with paradigms and mindset shifts. And that container was like a full-time job to me. I don't know how other people did it with 9-to-5s and was in the container. Every single week there was intensive modules. Then you had to do a quiz. Then you had to do like 3 live coaching calls. And then you had to be in your own coaching container and practice. It was just a lot. I felt like when I was writing this letter of explanation, I was defending myself. I felt like I had to come with a defensible argument of like, this is why I slowed down and this is why it's not a problem moving forward, because I'm ready to get back on the horse and I'm ready to hustle. I'm ready to be a girl boss again, because that's what society approves of. That's what society rewards. That's what society expects. And when I say society, I really mean like this male structured workplace and business is all about. It's all about growth. It's all about hustle culture. It's all about being a girl boss and make 7 figures and chase after success, grow your channels and grow your subscribers and grow your following. And honestly, I'm just in a season where I'm so over it. That was me even 3 years ago before I had kids. And since becoming a mom, my values have shifted. My perspective has shifted. And by the way, I'm not knocking you at all if that's the season you're in right now, is that hustle season. I'm passionate. I have so much fervor and energy, and I just want to create and build and scale. Good for you. And there's no right or wrong, really. But I think where I get really upset is when it's just expected. Like, this is what you need to show in order to be successful. This is what you need to show in order to qualify for a loan. And mind you, they don't care if you have $1 million in sales in 2022 and you have $800,000 in sales in 2023, and all you need is $300,000 for a loan. They don't care. They just want to know that there's upward trajectory. No matter what the numbers are, they don't calculate that. They also don't calculate like how much assets you have or how much cash you have on hand. They just want to see the growth. So that's my little vent session. And well, okay, the conclusion of all of this was the underwriter made a mistake. And luckily, my 2023 actually grew, not a lot, but a little bit from 2022. So they just made a huge typo in their report. And luckily, I didn't even have to submit my evidence or my letter of explanation. And I guess that was a really cool realization at the end too, because I'm not somebody who looks at numbers very closely. I just kind of like, okay, here's everything that I did in this year. Mr. CPA, tell me what I owe, and then I just pay it. Like, I'm not really big on tracking numbers. And to be honest, I had no idea what my numbers were both those years. So to anybody who doesn't believe that you can make more or that things can come easily, hopefully that is some proof right there, because in 2023, I really did work less. I worked like half the hours and did half the things than in 2022. But luckily, I had some systems in place. I had things that were running on automation, and a lot of what I planted in the past was really coming into harvest. So I just really want to share that with you, because oftentimes you don't need to work and hustle and constantly grind in order to reap some benefits. There may be opportunities that just come into bloom for you. Maybe it's one chance project or one chance client or one chance employer that completely changes the trajectory of your outcomes. All right, so that's a quick housing update. We are officially approved. They said, congratulations. Sorry we made the mistake, but you are approved for the house. So yay, it's back on. But before all this happened, I actually wrote a post on LinkedIn that resonated with so many people. And I want to share it with you because I think it's going to resonate with you as well. Oh, before we dive into that, I want to share a quick invite to my upcoming free 3-day masterclass on how to land a dream job without applying online. If you know you are ready to find a more aligned opportunity, you need support with getting interviews and offers and standing out in today's competitive market. You want to cut through the noise and stop weeding through the conflicting advice out there. I'm going to break down in my brand new 3-day masterclass how to land a dream job. This is going to be all my tried and true strategies, and I'm going to do it in a way where, unlike other programs I've seen or masterclasses I've seen, it's not going to be instilled in fear. So many career coaches say you need to do this one thing or this is the path to doing it. But I really believe there's multiple paths to get to your outcome. And in this masterclass, I'm going to be sharing with you the successful strategies and tactics that so many of my various clients are using to beat out more qualified candidates on paper. So if you know your goal is to land another external opportunity this year, then be sure to check out www.cultivate.com/bootcamp to sign up for the free 3-day masterclass training. This is going to be a live training that's held over 3 days at the last week of June. So get your ticket now, and I can't wait to see you inside. So here's what I wrote. I am ambitious, but I don't want to be a hustling employee, leader, or entrepreneur. I used to love the glamorized #girlboss, but this season of my life, I'm saying rest in peace. I genuinely want to do a great job at my job, and I want to crush it with everything I have. And after I'm done with my deliverables or I'm crossing into overtime, I want to go home and enjoy the life that I've built outside of my career. Kissing my kids, taking them to soccer games, cooking homemade meals, packing their lunch, having slow mornings, hanging out with my friends, playing pickleball, or going to travel without a laptop. Let's face it, there will always be more work, so just leave it or create boundaries and realistic deadlines. I've had a lot of clients who've expressed similar. Emily, how do I let an employer not feel threatened by my current career and let them know I'm genuinely okay and even elated by the lesser title and pay? Employers, please don't judge a candidate by their resume. Get curious. Pick up the phone and ask why they want to take a step back. And candidates, don't be afraid to speak with conviction and share your why and the win-win for both parties. Or don't be afraid to go after the appropriate title and set boundaries and communicate your needs. It's okay if you're not interested in climbing a corporate ladder or hustling any longer. It doesn't make you any less smart or less ambitious. I hope this post gives you some relief that hustle culture, working up a corporate ladder, scaling to a 7-figure business is not the only path to success. Traditionally, we're told go to school, get a degree, climb a ladder, make 6 figures, be a leader, then you're successful. And to me, I believe busyness has become a virtue. It's almost become this badge of honor to say you're busy. I used to be that way when people would ask me oh, what's up? How are you? I haven't seen you in a while. I would go on about like all the amazing projects I'm working on and how busy I am, as if it's like this thing to be really, really proud of. I believe society glamorizes and rewards this productivity and hustle culture, because the opposite of that is like you're lazy or unproductive or boring or mundane and just don't have anything going on. And I work with so many clients who are burned out. Burnout is a slow burn. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a pattern that has emerged and risen that is causing you to feel burned out. So I actually made a list of my clients that I support. The people that I attract tend to be high achieving professionals. And I want to share the different types of burnout that I've coached them on. And then we'll talk about like how to recover from that and what you need to do if you identify with any of these. So the first kind of burnout that I see a lot is misalignment. This is when you are continuing down a path, whether it's a job, a relationship, a business, that really no longer lights you up. And you're staying in there because listen to the Permission to Pivot episode. There's a lot of fear of change or of failing or the sunk cost fallacy. So we stay in this misaligned path that ultimately eats away at our soul. It eats away at our energy, and something that shouldn't really take up so much time or energy to do is just burning you out because it's something that you're dreading all the time. The second kind of burnout that I see often is the lack of clarity. This is when you start to feel directionless or purposeless because you don't know what you want next, and you're so afraid of making a wrong decision that you stay in indecision. And that kind of burnout oftentimes takes up a lot of your mental capacity and your emotional well-being, and it makes you feel like you don't have any options in front of you. The third burnout that comes up a lot, and this is me, recovering people pleaser here, is people pleasing. It's the constant need to prioritize others' needs before yours, or overcommitting or neglecting your own well-being due to fear of not being approved of. The next one is lack of boundaries. So this is always saying yes to the things you actually want to say no to, but you're afraid of fear of abandonment or any negative repercussions. So it's easier to just go along with what others want. Dovetailing that is the afraid to speak up burnout. You're avoiding, you're not voicing your opinions because you're afraid of conflict or rejection or criticism. And ultimately you feel powerless. The next one is perfectionism. This shows up when you set unrealistic high standards and you're being overly critical to protect yourself from others thinking that you're not good enough. So everything has to be perfect all the time, and you're expending so much energy to control the narrative to make sure that you're safe, you're approved of, that people won't see any flaws because, oh no, what would that mean if they did? The other kind of burnout that comes up a lot is imposter syndrome. This is where you doubt your abilities despite all the evidence of your confidence and what you've been able to achieve, because you're constantly in comparison mode or not feeling deserving of success or inner self-worth. There's a lot of narratives that, I'm a fraud. I don't belong here. I don't deserve this. I'm going to be caught and found out. So that often leads you to feeling like you have to constantly prove and constantly being on, constantly saying yes. It's all interconnected and ties together. The other burnout is workaholism. I didn't even know that I had this as a coping strategy. I used to numb myself by working more because I got a lot of validation through that. I got a lot of pride from that. And I used to see it as, oh, well, I'm being productive. So I'm not turning to all these other negative addictions, but work is an addiction because you are distracting yourself in the pursuit of your goals, trying to get validation from achievements. So if you're constantly feeling like I have to work on something, I have to be productive, I have to do something, that's going to ultimately lead to burnout. But what's underneath all of that is this feeling of needing more validation. And it's easy to get validation from your achievements because look at me, look what I've been recognized for, look what I just did. And so that's where a lot of people get their worth from, is work. And so that's really important to get conscious of if that is your pattern as well. Another burnout is the nice girl or the nice guy. This is like constantly feeling like you have to be seen as like the good one or the nice one, because again, it kind of goes back to not wanting to have any conflict, not wanting others to say anything negative about you because your esteem would just be so shattered. You couldn't handle if somebody doesn't like you, because what does that mean about you if somebody says something negative? So we go above and beyond and we continue to over-deliver. So if any of these sound like you, welcome to the club. And to me, this is really the deeper work of learning how to unhook from praise, unhook from validation, and truly feeling empowered enough, knowing that you are enough. This, to me, is the inner magic that resides within you, where you don't have to look outside of yourself to feel this. You have just a deeper inner knowing and inner trust so that you can start to make decisions from a place of, I'm already full and complete. I don't need this other thing to make me full and complete. So from this place, from this space, what do I choose to do? If I'm not afraid of being disliked, what do I choose to do? If I'm already enough, what do I choose to do? And when I support my coaching clients, this is what I'm really curious about. This is what I want them to be able to ultimately build the muscle to get towards. It takes a lot of work unraveling all of those belief systems and those wounds and those traumas that are holding us in that place of feeling like we don't have power, that we're not good enough yet until we are able to achieve a certain whatever. And when, again, you're able to unhook from all of that, that's how you recover from burnout. Burnout is not, again, it's a slow burn. It's not, I'm burned out, so I'm going to go take a vacation for a week. You're going to come back and you're going to continue the pattern. So how do we really recover from burnout? This to me is finding your own harmony, finding that inner magic inside of you where I don't even want to say like you're striving for balance. I don't like balance. I don't like hustle. Harmony is what I'm after and what I want you to tap into as well. Harmony is what makes you feel light and energized and at peace. How do you make decisions from that space and that place? And I think when you do that, the burnout will naturally fade away. By the way, if this episode resonated with you, I'm officially so excited to announce that I've figured out what I want to support people with next. I've gotten so much clarity over this past week just by being still and allowing inspiration to come to me versus trying to motivate myself to figure out an answer. And what I realized after speaking to one of my clients in the Happily Hired formula is that I want to help people recover from burnout and overwhelm without quitting their jobs. So what that means is I'm a firm believer that we always have options in front of us. And what I'm more curious about is whether you've done all that you can to break a pattern or a cycle of feeling overwhelmed and burnout. So all of those things that we just talked about, have you worked on letting go of misalignment or people pleasing or being the nice, good girl or nice, good guy? Have you been able to voice what your needs are? Are you able to set boundaries? Are you able to let go of perfectionism or work with your imposter syndrome? If you haven't yet done that, I'm a firm believer that a new job, we all hope that we're going to have a better workplace. We're going to have a better boss that just does that all for us. But often what comes up is the same pattern. We get into a new job, we get really excited, and then what happens typically is we fall back into a routine, we fall back into a pattern, and then we find ourselves looking for the exit sign again, and it becomes this pattern. So what I really want to help people with is coaching them on breaking this pattern so that no matter what environment they're in, then they feel empowered to create boundaries. They're able to know themselves so well that they know how to get clarity and listen to their intuition and get back into alignment. They know how to stop people pleasing and how to stop looking externally for validation and how to stop being a perfectionist and really trusting themselves through the process that I am worthy, that I am enough. What would I do from this space? So if that sounds exciting to you, then please go to the show notes. I've linked a survey in there that I would love your help on. Like if this resonated with you, you're like, yes, I know that there's a pattern within me that I need to sort out. I would love to just hear more about what your situation, what your challenges are. It will be a 5-minute survey. And for anybody who fills that out, you'll also put in your email address so that when I launch this beta program, what I'm thinking is this really incredible group coaching program. So you don't have to go through this alone, but you can go with others and have me coach you through the process. Then I can email you when that comes out. And as a beta program, it will be significantly discounted compared to when I actually launch the live program, because I want to make sure that I get feedback and iterate from there. But no matter what, I already have so many I feel it in my heart and in my soul that this is going to be the best program yet. So if you want to join, you want to learn more, this does just by filling out the survey, you're not committing to anything. You're helping me in making sure that I can design this program to be the most effective for you, because I want to know what you're struggling with so I can help you and build that into our curriculum. But it'll also give you an opportunity to join the program at a discounted rate when we go live, probably sometime in Q3. So if that sounds exciting to you, then I can't wait to support you on a deeper level there. And then there are just times when you're like, okay, I've done everything that I can. I've tried. This environment is just toxic. The workplace, the leadership, the team, everything that I'm dealing with is just a big red flag. It's toxic. No matter what I do, it's not going to get better. Okay, wonderful. You have a choice to exit. If you're unemployed, you're laid off, you are in the power to find a new opportunity that's in even better alignment than your previous job that you're leaving. So if that's you, I've exhausted all my options, I know I need to look externally for a job, and yet I don't feel confident in my positioning. I don't feel confident in standing out in this competitive market. I'm not confident in my job search skills. What do I need to do these days? There's so many AI tools and applicant tracking system and all these scare tactics out there. So-and-so is saying do this. So-and-so is saying don't do that, do this. I'm going to really break down what I believe is going to be helpful from a mindset and a strategy level in today's job market. I'm so excited. At the end of this month, on June 25, 26, and 27, I'm going to go live and host my most popular boot camp. It's a 3-day boot camp to guide you step by step through how to land a dream job in this market. It's usually filled with a huge community, so it's going to be a lot of fun energy. And I just want to connect with you and break it down into these very snackable, easy to digest, Here's what you need to do. This is why you're not getting as many interviews and offers. Let's break it down step by step. So if you're interested in enjoying that, just go to www.cultivate.com/bootcamp. And I'll link that in the show notes. Again, that's cultivate.com/bootcamp. And again, in the show notes, I'll also include the survey in case you're like, I want to just make the most out of this current opportunity. I really want to use this as the dojo or like the playground to practice breaking these patterns so that if I get into a new environment, people are not expecting this old version of me, but I can really be that leader that I wish I had. So yeah, lots of exciting things in the hopper, and I hope that you have a lot of exciting things as well. Well, you should, because all these things I'm designing are for you. I know you're going to fit into one of the two categories. Either you need a job immediately, or you're in a job, but you want to make the best out of it. You really want to grow internally. You want to do the deeper work so that you can break these patterns. I can't wait to support you inside. And I'll see you next week. I got a really exciting author/guest expert on how to fire financial independence, retire early. I can't wait for you to listen to that episode. It's really motivating and inspiring, especially if you want to retire early. All right. Until then, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you enjoyed it and you're not following me on social media already, come follow me and join the conversation on our latest post. I'm over at Cultivate, or you can visit our website, cultivate.com, and learn more. And don't forget to hit subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss another episode. I can't wait to connect with you again soon. Have a joyful day.